Good morning everyone and welcome back to this week's HubKids Online. We've had lots of fun thinking about some activities and crafts and things that we can share with you this week to think about faithfulness. Faithfulness is a big word and it's a little bit difficult to understand, but hopefully by the end of these activities you'll have a really good idea of what faithfulness is all about and how we can stick by each other, especially when times are difficult. So enjoy what we've got, have a great week together, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Oh, hello! I am so pleased you're here because I have just been checking my messages and I am very excited about today's story. You see, it reminds me of an experiment which I first did many years ago. This experiment is to test how quickly one can extinguish a candle without using hands or your breath, which you might think is impossible. In order to conduct this experiment, we shall require 3 pieces of scientific equipment of varying sizes and made of glass, 3 identical candles, a piece of timing equipment, and of course, as with all scientific experiments, we need to keep careful written records. For a flame to burn, it requires oxygen, which is found in the air all around us. So I am going to place this jar over this candle to see if it has any effect. I say, I wonder if you noticed what happened. The candle went out after 9 seconds. I'm now checking what happens when we use a slightly larger jar. For our second jar, the candle burned for 21 seconds. Finally, let's see what happens when I use the largest jar I have in my laboratory. And this, I predict, may take some time. At last, 53 seconds. So, we have established that the larger the jar, the more air is trapped and the longer the candle will burn. So, we are off to Christina now, who will tell us a story about some lamps which needed to stay alight.
The parable of the 10 bridesmaids. In Bible times, bridesmaids would wait for the groom to bring his bride back to his father's house. The exact time when this happened was not known and might have taken place at night. For this reason, the bridesmaids carried oil lamps. Jesus told this story about 10 bridesmaids who were waiting for the groom to arrive. They had all brought oil lamps as it was evening time. 5 of the bridesmaids had brought extra oil for their lamps in case the bridegroom took a long time to arrive. 5 had not brought extra oil. It became night, and as the bridegroom had not arrived, all 10 of the bridesmaids fell asleep. The oil in their lamps was getting lower and lower. Suddenly at midnight there was a loud shout, "Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him." 5 of the bridesmaids looked at their lamps. The lamps had gone out and they had no more oil. "Give us some of your oil," they pleaded to the 5 wise bridesmaids who had brought extra oil. "No," the 5 wise bridesmaids replied. "There may not be enough for both us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The 5 wise bridesmaids lit their lamps with the extra oil they had brought and followed the bride and groom to arrive at the wedding celebrations. The door was shut behind them. When the 5 foolish bridesmaids arrived, they found the door closed. They pleaded, "Lord, Lord, open the door for us." "Truly, I tell you, I don't know you," came the reply, and they were not allowed in. Jesus told this parable to remind us to be wise and ready for when he returns.
Hi everyone, we're back in the kitchen today and we're going to make something super exciting. We're going to have a go at following a recipe to make some honeycomb. I'm going to go through step by step and show you exactly how to do it, but you need to be careful because it gets really hot, so you might need a little bit of help. Okay, so let's get started. I have my recipe up here on the wall so I can see what I need to be doing. I have 200 grams of sugar in my saucepan with 5 tablespoons of golden syrup. We also have 2 teaspoons of bicarbonate of soda, which we'll need a little bit later. So the first thing we need to do is turn our stove on to a medium to low heat, just until the sugar is melted. Now this can take a while, so make sure you're patient. Okay, so once it's completely melted, it should look a little bit like this. The next thing to do is to turn the heat up a bit until this sugar turns into a nice amber coloured caramel. Now this shouldn't take very long, so make sure you're watching. Here we go, can you see it starting to change? And there we go, so once it's changed colour, we'll have to turn the heat off and as quickly as you can, tip in the bicarbonate of soda and give it a good stir. Let's see how it changes the sugar. Look at that! That's looking a bit more like honeycomb now, isn't it? So now we're going to pour it into a tray. And it's very, very hot, so make sure you're super careful. And there we go. We're now going to leave this to cool for around an hour. And let's come back and see what it looks like then. And we've made honeycomb. We did it! A while ago, this was only sugar, and it wasn't very special. Only when we added the bicarbonate of soda did it turn into something amazing. Like following that recipe, if we follow God and are faithful like him, something amazing can happen to us too. We're now going to go and see Phil for his crafts. Let's see what he's got for us today.
Welcome back to HubKids Craft, where we'll be making lanterns just as the 10 bridesmaids used in the story, either a fairly simple one or a very simple one. For this you will need to start with a dark coloured piece of card or paper if you don't have card. So I've got dark blue, black or purple, but I will demonstrate everything using white card simply because then you can see where I'm marking everything out. So first of all, draw a line down the middle of your paper or card and then cut off that half. You will end up with this, onto which you mark a 1.5 centimetre strip at that end, and then the rest of it you fold in half, open out, and then fold this end to the middle and this to the middle. Now, a really handy tip for folding card is to get a ballpoint pen and a ruler and draw along it 2 or 3 times, and it makes it much easier to fold. The next step is to draw a line down the centre so that you can then fold it like this. That then allows you to cut out your shapes. Now for this one, I'm doing a rectangle by cutting 2 sides like this, and then along the top, open it out, rectangle. For a diamond shape, I'm cutting a triangle, and that then becomes a diamond, and so on. And you can choose other shapes if you wish. And the finished cutting is exactly like this. And the next step, you will need either tissue paper, such as this, or you could use coloured sweet wrappers, such as you might find on Quality Street. And then you begin to stick them on with your glue stick. Having demonstrated everything so far on white card, I'm now going to complete the last step on my chosen card colour, which in this case is black. Make sure that the folded sides are looking like this. Stick the tissue paper on the inside so that when you look at the outside it looks nice and neat and tidy. This is a glue tab. Glue on the outside. And then stick carefully together like this. Pinch the corners, and then for the handle it's just a very simple strip of card in the same colour or a different colour if you like. A little bit of glue on each end, and then we pop that in there and that on there. And if you wish to add some extra decoration, you can use glitter or self-adhesive gems or whatever you like. And here is the finished lamp. If you really don't want to do any cutting out of paper at all, you can get an old glass jar and cover it with tissue paper or coloured sweet wrappers. In here I have placed an LED tea lamp, but you can use a real candle in a glass jar. If you ask a grown-up to help you, do not put a real candle inside a paper lamp. And if you were a bridesmaid waiting for your bridegroom in modern times, you would make sure you need spare batteries for your LED tea lamps.
That's another awesome week, kids, isn't it? It's so good to remember that God is faithful. We can trust him. He always listens to us. He's always there for us. He's utterly faithful. He does just what he said he would. And he longs for us to be faithful to each other too, to love each other and always be there for each other, to care for each other and to pray for each other. So another great week, lots to learn, lots to practice, lots to talk about at home. And we'll see you again soon. Grace and peace be yours.
In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, tomorrow.